Hey, everybody, the Christian here. Welcome to the FST podcast, the first episode of 2023. So excited for you to
That's
be
the first
here.
episode?
In the first episode of 2023, the new year. Always, we are sponsored by Byers and Taylor. That is Title and Escrow, the company that I work for. So appreciate you guys so much for just having us on and all that stuff. So today I have Heather the Hurricane. What is your last name? Because the hurricane, I got so many questions about the hurricane, about everything. And
You don't
so,
even need to know my last name. It's like Madonna. But anyway,
you know what? That's perfect. It's just HH.
it's Corrigan, but Heather Corrigan. Yeah, Heather the Hurricane Corrigan. Yes.
That is amazing. Okay, so let's just start right there. I'm gonna even avoid the first question right off the bat. Hurricane, the hurricane. Where does that come from?
My whole life. And then it got even stuck more once I started doing real estate 5 years ago. But my whole life, it's been like people were calling me that I'm just my personality, everything I do with gusto, I guess.
Yeah.
I was in advertising for over 20 years, acting and modeling and stand-up comedy, fashion. But everywhere there was just like the hurricane, here she is, the way I work a room, just everything I do, I get things done quickly, efficiently, effectively. And when I got my license 5 years ago and used the hurricane in and out of the office, making deals happen so quickly, they started calling me and I'm like, wow, that's what I've been called my whole life. And it just kind of really stuck.
Yeah, no, I loved it. I mean, seeing your logo and just seeing how you really just kind of stuck to the marketing, right? It's an awesome little marketing piece. And I'm just like,
Thanks.
okay,
It's
yeah.
actually, I feel like my logo's become iconic. Like I said, only 5 years and it's like a recognizable logo. So that's pretty exciting.
That's the best, right? People are like, oh, you're the hurricane, you're that person,
Yeah.
seeing your logo, that stuff. All right. So what have you done? You kind of mentioned a little bit of it, but who are you outside of real estate? Like, let's pretend you're not an agent right now. So when you're not, and it's hard to ask this question because like I feel like in this industry takes over your whole life. Like you're not
Right.
you don't clock in and out, right? Like you're always working,
I
always
work 24/7. It's
Yeah.
become so much a part of me. And even when I first got my license 5 years ago, I was doing this with Go Guerrilla Media, which I was VP of sales, selling all kinds of really cool guerrilla marketing programs all over the country, advertising, let's say, on like video trucks, coffee cups, this kind of, which a lot of the stuff I did there, I implement now
Sure.
with my hurricane, to promote my current brand.
Yeah.
So when I was doing, I became doing real estate full time like 2 years ago, but I feel like, yes, 24/7, I'm always on. I'm always a realtor. I could be networking anywhere I am. I could be out for a friend's birthday. Anything I'm doing, it's part of it. Like I said, I also, when I do my stand-up comedy, my real estate has definitely become part of it because I have so much good material for real estate. That's for sure. But besides, I'm a Girl Scout leader. My kids do acting and modeling. My son is 17. My daughter's 13. We just had her huge bat mitzvah.
Wow.
And we have so much fun together. And like she just did the Polar Express, so we were running on and off set with that. But I've always been very efficient. Like I was head of PTA and Girl Scouts, and everything that I was always doing was always very successful also in my career. So it's like being well-rounded is very important to me.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So you said the comedy, right? I have to jump into that. So initially, I felt like you said you hosted it, but you actually do stand up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, on and off. I mean, I always wanted to. And I'm very, like, I'll just say things that are just very witty, and it helped in my sales career, I think, for many years. And just getting, I'm a huge networker. It's helped me in a lot of areas. So I took classes a couple of years ago. It was great. And then I performed at Caroline's, which is closing down, Levity Live. I took, all the big ones, but I also host a lot of events like Dinner and a Show. And the one I was talking about, I have this poster here from about a year ago where we did something with, a mortgage one of our mortgage partners sponsored it. It was at a beautiful place. And I was the MC and also one of the realtors. Yes. But I've done stuff since it, but that one just really stuck out. It was really great. And I had the poster here and it was exciting. That's all.
No, that's awesome.
I'm going to do more of that stuff for 2023. Because I've done client appreciation stuff, and I'm thinking about doing that with the comedy night. So a lot of things in the works for 2023.
Yeah, I love that. So on a personal level, I love stand-up comedy. I love just kind of the back. It's crazy how many of these comics are actually super dark and like sad people, and they just kind of bring it into this. But my wife always makes fun of me because I'm a huge Jerry Seinfeld fan, and it's
I'm actually the biggest. That's all I watch. And Curb. That's all. My
yes.
whole life is my my whole life is that's all I watch or do or refer to.
So kindred
I'll
spirits right
beat
there.
you. I'm sure I'll beat you in anything. I know every episode, every.
Okay, I think we're gonna have to have a follow-up
I have the
type of
trivia game
podcast.
right here.
So do
Okay.
I. All right, we're gonna have a competition later. We'll come back
Okay.
to this and we'll have a Seinfeld competition.
Sure.
Um, I will say you're ahead of the game on me though, because I've never done stand-up. My background is I was a pastor, so I'm used to public speaking. I can preach and be in front of crowds. And every once in a while, because I usually worked with like the teenagers and young adults, I would throw in some jokes just to see if I had the chops. And real hit and miss. So I feel like I might be booed off a stage if I tried to do stand-up. But you never know. Okay, so outside of that, you said you have two kids, 13 and 17. Those are kind of crazy ages, right? One's coming into the teenage years, one's going into adulthood. How are you managing that? Is it fun? Any crazy stories?
No, it's great.
You have good.
Yep. They're wonderful.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, I love that.
Yep.
Okay.
Really. They have been working, like I said, since they're babies. They do acting and modeling. So, and he works football. They are on every sport, Girl Scout. I mean, they are very well, like little machines, like doing everything right.
That is great. Oh man, I see. I have two little ones.
And appreciate everything.
That's the important part, right? So that's what I'm trying to. I have a 2.5-year-old and a about to be 10-month-old. So I got a little ways, but they're two little girls, and man, they're good. They can drive me nuts, but when I see them around other kids, I'm like, oh, you're good. You're pretty well behaved. You're smart. All that stuff. All right. So my second.
That's funny what you said about the rabbi thing. That's actually something I almost went to rabbinical school.
Oh, wow.
And I thought about going back to it because I actually am very good with speaking in front of people, running crowds, and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's definitely a skill set that I think not a lot of people have. So if you got it, make the most out of it for sure. All right. So
I won the Hineni Award from our temple because of all the work I've done.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. My second question is, and be honest here, is when you get really, really upset, somebody makes you mad, something like that, what is your go-to word or go-to phrase? What's your reaction when somebody does something that just kind of triggers you on that spot?
I don't know. Try not to do too much,
Yeah.
Try to keep it in, but that doesn't always work. Try to kill them with kindness.
Yeah. So you're one of those people that's a lot nicer than the rest of us.
I'm not saying, I've definitely lost my SHIT before, but I try not to.
And I think in this industry, like you have to like kind of bite your tongue a little bit and just kind of keep a face, a straight face and keep everybody happy.
I'm pretty honest with my clients though, which they don't always love.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like in the long run though, it pays off because there's no, like you're like, hey, no matter good or bad news, I was willing to tell you what it was.
Yeah.
And so I think that's pretty good. That's pretty important. Okay, well, yeah, I try not to cuss, but sometimes, something comes out every once in a while. I will say this, it's not even when I get mad. A lot of times it's like when I know my clients have deals going on and I'm like, oh, and we work and like I'm so intentional about building relationship with all the people in my life. And then I see like, oh dang, they just sent 2 contracts to a different title company. And I'm just like, oh, like, dang it. That's usually about as upset as I get when it comes to work. I do kind of internalize it a little bit more as well. Okay, so third one, you have 2 kids, and if you gave them one piece of advice of what not to do in life, like my dad, he got married at 18, fresh out of high school. He has 6 kids. I'm the oldest of his 6. And so as soon as he was fresh out of high school, started having kids, was married. So his advice is do not get married as soon as you graduate high school. What is one piece of advice that you would say to your kids or the audience out there? Do not do blank?
My advice to I mean, I don't want to say because I deal with so many renters, but I want my kids to be able to, like, my first home I bought when I was pregnant with we rented until we got married first, had a huge wedding, and then we bought our house. Like, and I rented before that. Like, I would say, do not do that. I would much rather them invest.
Yeah.
That would be my advice for sure.
It's crazy. I had a meeting this morning actually with this real estate agent. I'd never met him before. And we went out to have some coffee, and I'm talking with him, and I'm looking at him, and he looks young, and I'm thinking like maybe his early 20s or something. And I said, hey, I said, you're doing some good stuff. You're getting started. I said, how old are you? And he's like, oh, I'm 19. I'm 19. I just got my license in October, and I've sold 4 houses and kind of just hit the ground running. And I'm just like, man, like that to me, that seems like I'm trying to buy a house. I want to do this, all these things, his goals. And I just think back to when I was 19, I was like, I was not doing any of that. I wasn't thinking about any of that. So I think I'm right there with you. It's just like, hey, like, enjoy being young, yes, but that doesn't mean you have to be dumb. It means you can be smart, invest in buy property, work hard, and do all that.
Yep.
And so yeah, no, I love that. What would give me? So you said your background is pretty solid. So what was going on in your life at 19 or 20 years old? You got married young or started having kids young?
I got right into my career. I've always been a go-getter.
I love that. Okay, so
okay. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Always been a go-getter from day one. Went to SUNY Cobble School for Business, FIT, for buying and merchandising. I was stuck in the Century 21 department store. Was at my school with a fashion show. I stuck in the back, gave them my resume. I became a buyer for them immediately. Then I switched to the sales side, and I got into the luggage department. Got to know people in the industry. Was published of a magazine from that industry. So I was a go-getter and out there from very young, but not thinking of investing like that's. I'm just saying I think differently now, like because I'm in the business.
Yeah. What brought you into real estate? You did all that and you pivoted towards this. What made you get your license?
I wish I got a long time ago, 5 years ago, 5 years too late. I shouldn't say that. I have it now. You can't say that, but I was at Go Gorilla Media. I was doing that for over 20 years. I was an independent contractor, so I stopped commuting to the city. And I'm like, I was commuting to the city. I'm like, and I was an independent contractor. And I'm like, I'm such a good salesperson. Why? I had a side party planning business because I'm very good at that too. You should check out some of my stuff. I have very cool events that I do. I've been written up in many articles for them. Like my daughter's Spider-Man bat mitzvah, very unique and different with the dancing Spider-Man. So I'm very creative, which also leads to my brand and everything that you see.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was looking at a house for the fun of it. And I was just like, I met this realtor, I don't say this person has a license. They're not even like a salesperson type to me. I'm like, I really need to get my license. And I got it. I was like, why am I doing this during that time? I was with Go Gorilla. My kids got a new agent. So that was crazy. I was studying for the real estate exam. I was doing stand-up comedy. I was doing like 1,000 things at once. I'm like, I cannot believe I'm doing this. I wanted to kill myself, but I'm like, I'm going to stick with it because I knew it was going to be worth it in the end.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like slinging houses. I started it and it was like it was before COVID. It was like a side thing that became a really good side thing. And eventually through COVID, it was like, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, man, that's kind of perfect. I feel like in the 5 years that's kind of happened, you've got to see it all, like a normal market, a crazy market, and then to kind of come back out. I mean, I don't know how it is. You're in New Jersey, right? I'm sure it's not that different, but from where we're at over here in Texas, it's just kind of like just the ups and downs. But like everybody initially was like, oh my gosh, the market's changing, 2-3%'s gone. But I'm like, yeah, but it's balancing out. Like you're gonna really see who the good agents are and the good people in the industry are.
First of all, the bad markets bring good markets bring bad agents, and good markets bring bad market brings good agents. It's going to be survival of the fittest. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's crazy because like I jumped in and it's like I have a handful of people that did really good business and then they just fell off the face of the earth. The market shifted and they're like, oh, I had to get a regular job because it wasn't easy as just putting a sign in the yard for 3 days and selling the house.
You got that right. This is going to be very telling.
Yeah. No,
That's why some days I just want to quit. I'm just like, I can't, because I know I'm going to be one of the fittest. So I got to keep going.
Oh yeah, I think you are ahead of the game in just how much you market and like we talked about, obviously it's your background, but how many real estate agents don't have that on a personal level? Like it might be part of a bigger brand and that's
But
cool.
I've also sold so much in only 5 years. I do 13 million every year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you
54 units.
You hit the ground
every
running.
year.
That is amazing. You really just don't see that a whole lot. Okay, so let's get into your actual real estate. Let's promote yourself. Tell me what you're doing, what you got going on, and all
Wait, say it again. Sorry.
Just let me know what you're doing and what's going on in the world that you're living in, and just kind of what things are happening.
I mean, the new year. I ended the year off the way I want. I mean, like I said, I've been making doing over 12 million and like 55 units consistently every year, starting from year 1, and we're now in year 5. I want to double that, even though that's crazy numbers. I'm hoping to. It's right now, rentals. I'm like a rental whore right now. That's all people. I have a lot of landlord. I have a lot of people that we've bought properties and now I'm listing their rentals for them. People that are renting. Because they don't realize that it's still a great time to buy, which I'll get them to change. I'm going to be doing tons of buying seminars.
Okay.
And we're going to get this. I'm not worried. It's going to be a great year. I have to double. Help me double, everyone.
Yeah.
I'm an excellent agent. My clients are my family. Look me up. I have over 65-star reviews. I have a commercial. It's all online. It's all on my website, Heather the Hurricane. I'm on every single social media platform. You can TikTok, tip, all of it.
Are you Heather the Hurricane on all the platforms across the board?
Yeah, I was just going through that with my marketing person today. Some of them, just because of how we saved it before, weren't, but it should be like, and if you go to my website, you should find all my handles there. Okay. And I'm working on promo pieces to just promote that.
Yeah, we'll put all that in the description and the links.
Thank you.
So in New Jersey, but what part specifically are you really focused in?
I live in Bergen County. My office is in Closter. I'm with Remax. I love my company. I live in Oradell, Bergen County, but and I do a lot here, but I'm happy to go to other counties. I've done business in Passaic County, Union County, Hudson County. I think I covered them all. Morris County.
So just everywhere. You're just willing to go anywhere in.
Yes.
Okay. No, I think
Bergen is our, focus, but I'll go to all those counties. Yep. I've done business in all of them.
So do you have like a team? Is it just you? I know you have a team like around you, an assistant and all that, but are you part of a group? Are you forming a group? No, you just
me. The hurricane, I've thought about it. Yeah. It's just really not for me. I want to be there for every step of the way, for my clients, for everything. I rather have Pam helps me with my marketing. That takes a big load off of me so I could focus on selling stuff. Yeah. I had a Spanish translator at one time that helped me tap into the Hispanic market. I have another guy that posts for me, Pedro, in Guatemala, that helps. So these things help. And if it's hot, there are people that will have working on projects that'll help me so I could do what I have to do to be out there with my people. I mean, maybe it'll get to a point where I can't handle it right now. I already work 24/7, so I don't know. Maybe I do need a team. But I want to be there for every step of the way. And I just feel like it's really important. I do have people I partner up with in the office for different projects.
Sure. See, but I like that. I like your approach a lot. I just think you're kind of doing it because you are still fairly new, right? I mean, 5 years, you have enough to know what you're doing, but still working on a ton of things. And I think that's really cool. I think a lot of times, at least what I've seen over here, is I'll see people jump in, they do okay, and they'll go join a group, and it's great. I'm not against you joining a group or forming a group. But what I've seen some people do is they'll form a group and then stop working and make everybody else kind of do the work for them.
Yeah, no.
And I'm like, but it's your,
And then, and then those people are talking to your clients. What happens to those people in the end? You're going to end up with no one.
yeah, exactly. That's why I just, even just kind of seeing you from afar, obviously living in different states, but just kind of seeing the work ethic and the effort you're putting in and just pushing it through the different markets. I didn't see anything, and I went and kind of stalked your page a little bit. I didn't see anything that was like, oh man, there's a huge dip off because the market, like there was no excuse for you. It's just, we're going to keep pushing through just like a hurricane.
Yes, that's what I'm doing right now. Yes. Like I said, like I'm just doing a ton of rentals right. It doesn't mean I know. And there was a point when I was working with tons of buyers and tons of sellers. And that's the other thing too. Is a lot of these teams are like, oh, I'm going to be a buyer's agent. I'm sorry. Me personally, I think to be a well-rounded agent, you have to have listings, buyers, you have to have buyers, sellers, renters, all of it. I do commercial too. But I think to make a well-rounded agent, to be a good agent, you should be well-rounded, not just focus on one thing. That's not real estate. Real estate is a whole circle of things that we do.
Yeah, no, and that's the exact advice. The guy I met with earlier, the kid, he was asking me just some advice. I said, look, don't cut yourself off at the knees here. Be a seller and be a buyer. Be everything. Like if you have rentals, do all that, especially being so young, like learn the business in its fullness. And if you want to go 20 years from now, and you're just like, oh, I just work with sellers because I built myself up so much. Cool, or just buyers, whatever you want to do. But I think when you're starting, do it all. Learn as much as you can, and then find your niche as you keep going. And maybe forever, you just do everything because you love that. Like you love the full scope of it all.
I think that's the way to be, but
yeah, and honestly, I'm with you, because why wouldn't you want both sides of that business?
I don't get it.
Yeah.
But some people want, that's okay.
All right, Heather, let's one more time, give me all your social media stuff. I know you just said it, we'll put it in the thing there, but I'm gonna put this up and post it all over my socials too.
And also I was president of a networking group, but I now am the vice president of two new networking groups that we're starting. One in Mahwah, it's called United Tips of America. One is Mahwah, we have lunch once every 2 weeks in Mahwah, and I'm vice president and realtor of a Westwood group. United Tips of America, we're gonna have lunch every 2 weeks, Tuesday. So these are recruiting. It's going really well. And we have a lot of categories. We have like title done, but anyway, you're over there. But we have every category. Some are taken, some aren't. So hit me up because this is gonna be huge. It's awesome. I'm a mad networker, so it's gonna be really great. So that's happening. Hit me up. I could send you the application. Let your people know.
Yes.
But my website is Heather the Hurricane. Everything's on there. Insta, TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, HomeSnap, Zillow, of course. I have over 65-star reviews there. I'm on Rate My Agent. I was #1 in Bergen County on Rate My Agent. I won that award last year, so that was pretty cool.
That is cool. I love that.
It's all there.
Awesome. Well, Heather, thank you so much. Like I said, I'm gonna clip this up. I will send you all the clips that I get, the full podcast, and then I'm gonna clip it up into about 10 short things just for content, and I'll send that over to you. And yeah, I think you and I, though, we have to get that Seinfeld trivia game going.
I have it right here. I will beat you. And I bet you I know every Curb. Did you see all the new Curb episodes?
I'm not caught up on Curb.
Should be. Then you're not a real fan.
You know what? As soon as we're done here, I'm gonna stop working.
Do a marathon. Yeah. It's on HBO Max. They have every episode, except I can't find 12, the last one.
Oh, maybe it's just not up yet.
They said it was, but I couldn't find it. But I really thought about going the whole seminar thing because I went to Jewish school, yeshiva, and I taught my children everything I know about. They're so proud to be Jewish because I made that. I instilled that in them.
Yeah.
You should really look at the pictures. My daughter's bat mitzvah, like I said, was insane. Both of them. We had famous people there. It was just insane. Like I said, dancing Spider-Man for a girl. It was so crazy. Cool.
It is awesome.
It was really different. And so the lady that we hired to train her, I was talking to her because I almost went to Israel to do that too. Everyone's like, I should have the House of Heather. My friends always tell me that, to open my own kind of thing. So I was thinking about going back to school for that.
Man, well, that would be interesting. Yeah, we have to keep an update on that for sure next time.
Right now, but the problem is I'm so focused on selling these darn houses. I don't know. We'll see.
There needs to be more time in the day for you. Something needs to give.
something.
All right. Well, hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate you doing this and first one of the year. So you're getting it started on a good track. And I just appreciate you jumping on with us today.
Thank you.
All
Heather the
right.
Hurricane. Have a good weekend.